Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's incredibly important for anyone in their 20s and 30s: how to build wealth in your 20s and 30s, 5 essential steps. Whether you're just starting your career, thinking about long term goals, or looking to optimize your financial journey, this video is for you. By the way, my name is Krista, a certified financial coach and expert in the field of personal finance. So, why is this so important? Well, building wealth early gives you the freedom to live life on your own terms, retire early if that's your goal, and ensure financial security for the future. And the good news? It's never too early to start. Let's break down the 5 key steps you need to follow to build wealth in your 20s and 30s. Make sure to stick around till the end because I'll also be sharing some actionable tips along the way. So, let's jump right in. Step number one, start budgeting and tracking your spending. I know, I've said this multiple times in previous videos. Budgeting might not sound like the most exciting thing, but trust me, it's the foundation of building wealth. In your 20s and 30s, it's crucial to understand where your money is going. Start by tracking every dollar. Whether you use a pen or paper, a spreadsheet like I did when I first started, or a budgeting app like Dave Ramsey's Every Dollar, which I currently use, it doesn't matter, just track it. The goal is to make sure you're aware of your income, your fixed expenses like rent and bills, and your variable costs like eating out, entertainment, or shopping. Now, why is this so incredibly important? Well, once you know where your money is going, you can start to make conscious decisions about cutting back on unnecessary expenses. Can you cut down on daily coffee runs or that subscription you never use? And yes, I'm talking about that streaming service you haven't watched in months. Once you understand your spending habits, you can set realistic savings goals, stick to them, and actually build wealth. I only started creating and following a budget about 4 years ago when I started to really get an interest in my finances. I had always dabbled here and there, but never fully committed. Once I noticed that I could cut back on variable expenses, I hit the jackpot. One month, I noticed that I had spent over $800 on eating out. Since I lived alone and I worked hard, I figured I would eat out every time I did a good job of work. That actually happened so much that I spent over $800 one month on only ordering takeout. I wish I could say that that was the turning point for me, but I only noticed when I looked at my credit card bill and calculated how much I had spent on Grubhub. I then noticed that this was similar to my rent. Another wake up call because why was I eating the same or more than rent? Essentially, I was literally eating away all my money. That actually hit me. The fact that I was eating away all my money. Things had to change. So I went cold turkey and deleted all the apps from my phone until I had built the discipline necessary to eat what I cooked, whether it was a Friday or not. It's very important to treat yourself, but doing so every day or every weekend should not be the norm, especially when you're committed to cutting back on variable expenses. Step number two, pay off high interest debt. If you're carrying credit card debt or high interest loans, it's like you're working with one hand tied behind your back. The interest on these debts can quickly spiral out of control, making it harder to build wealth. There are two main strategies you can use to pay off debt: the debt avalanche method and the debt snowball method. Let me break down both of them for you. So, first, let's talk about the debt avalanche method. This strategy focuses on saving you the most money in the long run. You start by making minimum payments on all of your debts except the one with the highest interest rate. You direct all extra funds toward that high interest debt, and once it's paid off, you move to the next highest interest debt, and so on. This method minimizes the total amount of interest you'll pay over time, which is great if you're looking to pay off your debt as efficiently as possible. For instance, if you have a credit card bill with 20% interest, a personal loan with 10%, and a car loan with 5%, the debt avalanche method would have you focus on paying off that high interest credit card first. But here's the thing. This method requires a bit of patience and discipline. Sometimes paying off that high interest debt first can take a while, and it can feel discouraging if you don't see results quickly. That's where the debt snowball method comes into play. The debt snowball method is all about building momentum. Instead of focusing on the debt with the highest interest rate, you start by paying off the smallest debt first. The idea is that by knocking out a small debt quickly, you gain a sense of accomplishment and motivation to keep going. Once that debt is paid off, you move on to the next smallest and so on, just like a snowball getting bigger as it rolls downhill. While the debt snowball method may cost you more in interest over time, it's a great choice if you need quick wins to stay motivated. If you're the type of person who thrives on small victories like I do, this method can be incredibly effective in keeping you on track. Both methods work, and the right one for you depends on your personality and what keeps you motivated. Whether you go for the debt avalanche to save money on interest or the debt snowball for quick wins, the most important thing is that you actually start. Paying off high interest debt is the first step to unlocking your financial freedom. One additional strategy I implemented when I started to either pay off my debts or acquire more debts in terms of my mortgage was to always use a debt payoff calculator. The one I always keep on my phone is calculator.net. I am obsessed with the different calculators found on this website. You're able to quickly calculate how much it will cost you in interest if you take out a loan for 5, 15, or 25%. It's just very eye opening to see how much the lenders make from us on a consistent basis. Where we think we're paying off a $300,000 mortgage at 5% over 30 years, you're really paying off $580,000 instead due to an extra $280,000 the banks make from the interest. That's almost double your loan, which is sad, but it's very legal. Step number 3, build an emergency fund. Life can be very unpredictable. From car repairs to medical expenses, there will always be unexpected costs. And that's why having an emergency fund is so important. Aim to save at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in an easily accessible savings account. This isn't money you're going to use for anything other than true emergencies. And if you have a family or more dependents, consider building up to a 6-month cushion. Start by setting aside a small portion of your income each month. You can gradually build this fund over time, but don't wait until you have a huge amount of savings to feel secure. The key is to start, even if it's with $50 or $100 a month. The peace of mind you'll get knowing you have a buffer against life's curveballs is worth it. And if you have more disposable income, definitely put that money in an individual brokerage account. You might not have a huge emergency for years if you're wise or simply lucky, and you might not be saving for anything special. But the day might come where you will need that extra buffer, even if it's to take an extra vacation for the year that wasn't planned or to do house renovations one day. Extra money in a brokerage account can serve as an additional financial security net. Step number 4, invest early and often. This is where the magic actually happens. The earlier you start investing, the more time your money has to grow. So don't wait until you feel like you have a lot of money to begin investing. In fact, starting with small amounts now can have a huge impact on your wealth in the future. You've probably heard of compound interest. That's a concept where your interest earns interest. When you invest early, you can give your money time to grow exponentially. A dollar invested today could be worth 10 times as much in the future. So, how do you start? You can start with simple, low-cost index funds, which allow you to invest in a broad market like the S&P 500. These funds are low risk compared to individual stocks and historically offer good returns over the long term. Also, take advantage of retirement accounts like a 401k or an IRA. If your employer offers a match, max out that match. It's essentially free money. And remember, investing isn't about timing the market, it's about how much time you have invested in the market. Finally, step number 5, increase your income and grow your skills. Building wealth isn't just about saving and investing, it's also about making more money. In your 20s and 30s, you should be focused on career development and expanding your earning potential. One way to do this is by constantly learning and improving on your skills. Whether it's through certifications, online courses, or attending industry events, improving your skill set will make you more valuable in your field and open up new career opportunities. You can also consider side hustles or freelance work to supplement your income. Today, there are more ways than ever to make more money outside of your 9 to 5. You could start a blog, freelance in your area of expertise, or even create digital products. Every extra dollar you make is another dollar you can invest toward your future. I was actually able to double my income at my last employer by increasing my skills. Whatever was asked of me, I was excited to say yes to learn something new and to grow within my role. If it wasn't for my ability to take on more responsibility at work, continuously strive to learn how to do a better job, and ask for advice, I wouldn't have been able to double my income. Once I did that, I saved that money in my 401k, Roth, HSA, brokerage accounts, etc. At that point, I never increased my cost of living or lifestyle. I simply stocked away all the extra money I had made for the future. So remember, growing your income not only accelerates wealth building, but it also gives you more flexibility in life. The more you earn, the more you can invest and save for your future. So there you have it. To build wealth in your 20s and 30s, follow these 5 essential steps. Start budgeting and tracking your spending, pay off high interest debt, build an emergency fund, invest early and often, and finally, increase your income and grow your skills. The key to wealth building is consistency. It's not about getting rich quick, it's about making smart decisions every day and setting yourself up for financial success over the long term. I hope you found these tips very helpful. If you did, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and leave any questions or comments down below. I'd love to hear more about your personal wealth building journeys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.